So what else do I get up to today? What I'm doing today? Clean the fire out, take the dustbin out, bleach the sink, and then I'm out in the garage. I'm not staying in the house all day. I could be editing films from now to eternity, but I try and save that for the evenings because I don't watch TV in the evenings. Maybe I sit down 5 to 10 to get the weather, and then I might nod off about 11:15. That's about it. No, what I've been doing out here, just so I know, well, I've got to actually clear it up in here. As we've been doing jobs for Mike as well on the bushcraft, on the TA Outdoor Show. I think the last thing we're making was some Viking shields. So all the workbench is a mess. It's got to be tidied up. So I've sort of got almost half a morning's work sorting out in here. But what I've been working on, guys, is like a sideboard thing that I got. Yes, it would be with me from a dumping situation. It was dumped as rubbish and it's broken. Well, it's actually this. As you can see, it's big. It is solid mahogany. I'm putting it around the 1900s. And, it could be late Victorian, could be late 1800s. Certainly it is Edwardian. I used to sell furniture for a living, so that's what I was drawn to it for. All the doors don't shut because it's been left in the rain. It's where I get my pallets from, in fairness. They're all jammed, they're all swollen. So I'm going to take a bit off there, plain those as well. You can see it's a lovely mahogany, but the thing is, people nowadays, young people, do not like old wood. I'm naturally drawn to wood because that was my living. So what I've done here with the top, I've actually planed all the drawers, cut loads of bits and pieces out of it, trying to do it as a sort of a project, as if I haven't got too much fishing to do. I can't go fishing. There's been a big storm go through. It's flooded the rivers, so the rivers are coloured, and the sea's out as well. It's too rough for boat fishing. Next best thing, crack on and do something in the garage. So the top here has been totally split down the centre. I haven't sanded this one yet. I've repaired it with glue as best I can. I'm going to mix up some wax filler, coloured wax filler, to go down the crack on the other side. I've knocked some dowel pegs off and I've put some supports glued across here, which I'm hoping will hold that crack together. But the base of this, turned upside down, will actually be the top of the sort of sideboard unit. And lots of power tools I've been using on it. I only get cheap ones, I don't bother getting good ones. Just get cheap power tools, and if you look after them, I find they stand you in good stead. Okay, so that's the base. Now I stripped this down and done my wrist at the same time, working for Mike and sanding with this. Taking the fittings off the drawers. And this one, I'm playing this was lock solid. That's now open. Now, what would have happened would have been, this would have been two doors there. You can see it would have been matched pair. And it had a shelf going across the middle. So what I've done is blend this in here with wood filler, so you cannot see the screw holes that he buckled off. It's all smashed off. I couldn't salvage it, and there was no door. So I've made this an open plan cupboard, and the shelf here I've actually cut and put on the side there, just up in here. So you open it up and you've got a cupboard there, and let's say a wine rack, that would fit, wine bottles in there. All rubbed down. Now I could beeswax this, I could French polish it, I could stain it, I could varnish it, but wifey tells me the latest thing to do is wait for this. All this beautiful mahogany is to paint it with a chalk paint. I've got a feeling I'm going to go that way, I really do, because it is a sort of fashion thing. And here in the UK, I can only speak for the UK, a lot of young people don't want the dark furniture. And when I used to be in the furniture trade, I had shops, it did actually have a change from mahogany, traditional veneered mahogany, to veneered yew. Yew being a very light wood, very light. And it does brighten the room, it makes the room look bigger. Whereas sometimes the mahogany ones, people don't have big houses now. Youngsters, if they've got a 2-bedroom house, they're not getting a 6'6" sideboard in there, are they? It eats too much space up. So that, coupled to the fact that most of this sort of big furniture would have been from big Edwardian Victorian houses. They were big rooms, big ceilings, they made big rooms. Nowadays, the builders just make boxes, like rabbit hutches. This stuff's not going to fit in there, is it? So it's a sort of a fashion trend, if you can get one of these in a farmhouse, to paint them up. I'll tell you what, I will give you a couple of tips so you know old furniture. Let's just move all this off and you can have a look. You can see I've taken the fittings off the drawers, sanded them down, but if you look, it's got here, I'm hoping I can get in on that with the camera. Like your tongue and groove, your dovetail as we call it. There, very, very fine, a very fine one. And also, if I can flip this up, each drawer has a keyhole. It has a brass lock there. I'll turn that round. And it has there, which you guys won't be able to read, a maker stamp on the brass lock. So that was a good quality piece of furniture. And I know this guy used to sell the stuff. When you get, I'm going to call it this quadrant in here, that is a sign of good quality vintage furniture. It stops dust getting in. It's like a dust trap. So it's when you had servants, and I've got one, it's called the wife. The maid, we're going to call it, could clean out everything. It's easier to get to brush out the corners there. So that's a good sign. The quadrant, the lock with the maker's name on. And here, let me show you this. With the handles I did get off, I'm just going to put these back on, obviously. Let's put it in the sun so you can see it a bit better. Hopefully, there. It's a square nut on the end, not a hexagonal nut. And square nuts were very, very early, much before the hexagonal nut. So that tells me it's very old. Now, if you want to know a good mirror, today you don't get it very much. But again, I used to have, used to go to the factories and buy the mirrors, different frames. It's beveled edge. And if it's beveled edge, it's usually what we call 1/4 inch plate glass. So when you look through it from back here, you will get no distortion. If you stand back from a cheap mirror, possibly some of the modern ones, the cheaper the mirror, the cheaper the glass, the cheaper the silvering on the back, you will get distortion. With a big sheet of glass like this with a beveled edge there, you will not get the same distortion. You get a better quality reflection. And of course, it's set into a frame itself there. But what drew me was this bottled glass effect. Now you can see the old handle there. Bottled glass effect there. Beautiful mahogany inside. I don't think I'm going to paint the inside of that. And the fact that this is all LED light. This is LED here. So that would have been an expensive piece of furniture there. Now you can see I've sanded it all off. I don't know what I'm doing regarding painting because I clean furniture and used to restore it and sell it. Painting is all totally alien to me. I'm afraid the floor's a mess. Various projects all on the go in here. The latest project was this one. Really good success making. Lead moulds with long tails for casting from a boat. You can make what you want, but wait for this. That's a wood mould there. And it is a circular piece of cherry wood. Somebody gave me some cherry wood that had cut down, very, very hard. And that slots when it's clamped together in there. You can see that, hopefully. Sits in that cradle with the clamps. And you can see, move that out of the way. There's all the leads. I've got to tidy up. So I've got to have a bit of a tidying up session in here first. And then I'm going to try and get over here, if I can, without breaking this on top of that. And look here, look at the joints there. Very, very good quality. Not quite sure how I'm going to get this on because I've cut dowel, there's dowel holding places there. I'm going to alter that. So you can see, even on a quiet day when I can't go fishing, I am not sitting around waiting for the grass to grow. Get out there, make yourself do something. Wifey wants to go for a walk this afternoon, so she's working in one of the charity shops. I'm going to crack on with this. At least I get so I like to do one little job, well, 10 little jobs each day. You've got to get out of every day as much as you can, because let's face it, guys, you can't get tomorrow to come quickly, can you? And you certainly are never going to get yesterday back. It's gone. Today is the day to do stuff.
Boom, boom, there's a knock at the door, but don't freeze in your tracks. It's the chance that you've been waiting for. It's the light coming through the